Hello everyone and welcome to the Daytona 500 in our 2002 NR2003 season. As we get this season back underway, that of course earlier in the off season, maybe early in this 2023, I had announced this series was temporarily on hold when the NASCAR 5 2023 career came out, and we started playing with that. But since Motorsports Games breaks everything they touches, they broke that. So now we are back to NR2003, the 2002 season Daytona 500, but this time the point system is a modern playoff system as we are green and underway in the Daytona 500. Ward, Burton, and Elliott Sadler start on the front row as we are green here in Daytona. Who will get it done to win this 2002 Daytona 500, and who will find themselves the first winner this season to be locked into the playoffs? As Ward Burton gonna power down the inside lane here and clear Elliott Sadler through turn 1 and 2 on this opening lap of racing. Got a draft coming the inside lane from Michael Waltrip and the two Roush Racing cars of Kurt Busch and Mark Martin. Right now, Ward Burton, your real-life 2002 Daytona 500 winner, is clear, leading the field here in the Daytona 500 over Michael Waltrip and Elliott Sadler. Michael Waltrip, big one on the back of Ward Burton already. Michael Waltrip looking to go for the lead here to the inside, making a move. Here comes the 15. Michael Waltrip going for the lead in the Daytona 500 here in 2002. Still in this NR 2003 universe. He's still looking for that first career win here. After wrong on the streak, and around goes the 6 of Mark Martin. Around he goes, spinning to the inside. And he will go spinning, and no caution will be called because there's a single car spinning as Mark Martin saves it and gets it down pit road. He actually ends up not saving it. Let's see with the replay of what happened here between Mark Martin and Sterling Marlin. A surprising incident here coming out of turn 4, coming to the tri-oval. See, Mark Martin just gets hooked by Sterling Marlin on the inside lane there, and Mark gets turned to the inside and crashes into the inside safer barrier. And right down into the pit, so he continues on as we stay green and continue racing here at the Daytona 500. They're 4 wide there at the beginning, up at the beginning of that pack, with Robbie Gordon and Bill Elliott and a bunch of guys were 4 wide, intense racing. Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, we got 3 wide on the high side. Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon trying to make moves. Michael Waltrip, though, clear for the race lead over Ward Burton down the back straightaway, 2 laps into this Daytona 500. As we continue to power down here, coming into turn 3 and 4 in the second lap, Johnny Benson, the 10, a huge run on the inside of Ryan Newman and Elliott Sadler. As we look through the pack, making their way through the corner, coming out of 3 and 4 this time. Will we have a big one early in the race like we typically see here at Daytona 2003? As Michael Waltrip, Ward continue to be side by side for the lead. You go past the smoke left over from Mark Martin's crash. Michael Waltrip will lead this lap here at Daytona. Tim and Ward Burton continue to trade blows for the lead here in the Daytona 500. On the second lap of racing, now into lap number 3. Need to be side by side through 1 and 2. Kurt Busch charging into third. He got 3 wide, almost 4 wide with Sterling Marlin pushing Terry Labonte past Johnny Benson and Ryan Newman through 1 2. There is going to be some contact and they're crashing. The big one underway at Daytona down the back. So Johnny Benson's around of the racetrack. Oh, there goes Jimmy Spencer. More cars crashing. Newman around. There goes Shauna Robinson in the wall. There goes the 33, the 7. Casey Atwood around. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in it. Harvick, Stewart. The big one here at Daytona has happened on lap 3. The A of Dale Earnhardt Jr. involved in the incident, one of the favorites for this race, of course, with his DEI teammate Michael Waltrip. See, Johnny Benson comes up the track, slams the 41 of Jimmy Spencer, and that's what kicks us off as Craven gets into them, and then Spencer spins down the track, and he sends cars back up the racetrack. They get squeezed into each other, and that's what just causes this massive eruption of cars to cause the huge one here in Daytona on lap 3. You have a view of Junior here. See, he gets close. It's actually Shauna Robinson's number 49 car coming up the track that really triggers this. Turns Junior into the wall, spins Brett Bodine and Dave Blaney, the 33 of Kenny Wallace. Sends a 7 around. Sorry, this is 23 Mike Wallace, 7 rounds. Now we get a full replay here. See, Johnny Benson Newman went spinning in front of the pack. They had saved it, and then when Benson gave the track into Jimmy Spencer, that sent Shauna Robinson spinning. Cars are going everywhere. Up into Junior, into the wall they go. Collects Brett Bodine, Mike Wallace. Steve Park sends a Casey Atwood spinning. Junior gets hit hard. Stuart Harvick collected damage to Bobby Labonte in this incident as well, and Tony Stewart gets drilled there by Todd Bodine. Here's another look at the incident from the view of Jimmy Spencer, who just got clipped right there and got spun off of Craven. You're going to see the whole field spinning by here as we look back at the field crashing hard here in the big one on lap 3 at Daytona. You see they came down the track, nowhere for these guys to go. First, Tony Stewart slams Todd Bodine afterwards. Kenny Wallace also involved in the 33. It's a big pile up here at Daytona to cause the big one on lap number 3. So you have a slight glitch in the camera angle, but we fix it here. Down the back, on board with Kevin Harvick. He's the back end of this wreck. You see, he just gets hit right there, spun into Tony Stewart and John Andretti, and nowhere they go through the grass. Damage to many contenders here after the big one strikes on lap 3 in the Daytona 500. Meanwhile, back to front, the cars that survived are 3 wide, 4 wide, aggressive racing to the line. Ward Burton will lead over Mark Martin, Terry Labine. Now we move on to the restart on lap 12 after an extended caution period. Jimmy Johnson, the rookie for Hendrick Motorsports, leads the field to green over Ward Burton, Jeff Green, Ricky Rudd, and Jeff Gordon, the top 5 of the lap car. The 99 of Jeff Burton to his inside. Of course, all the damaged cars didn't DNF are all at the back of the field, but there's still a long list of DNFs already from the big one. And Ward Burton already taking the lead right back from Jimmy Johnson, shoving Jeff Burton ahead. And Ward Burton's got help from Jeff Green, making his full-time debut for Richard Childress Racing in the NASCAR Cup Series, backing up that 2001 partial schedule where he had some solid runs. I think most notably at Sonoma, he had a top 10 run there. And he's been just pretty decent, but not lighting up like Kevin Harvick did last season in his rookie year. But we continue on. Ward Burton now gets shoved to the lead by Jeff Green here at Daytona. Jeff Burton goes back 1 lap down as Ward Burton here, a great super speedway racer in his own right, looks to pull away and try to get his first Daytona 500 win of his career to this point in NR 2003. As he just did that, Jeff Green runs behind him in second. Ricky Rudd runs in third here early in this race. 12 laps in, got some more 3-wide racing. Looking back at this pack of the damaged cars, they're racing 3 wide and more 3-wide racing throughout the field. But at the lead, it's a 2-car tandem working right now between Ward Burton and Jeff Green, leading the field here in 2002 Daytona 500. Of course, last season's Daytona 500 winner was Bobby Labonte in the 18. Unlikely that he will repeat after being damaged in that big one in lap 3. And now Jeff Green is going to take the lead from Ward Burton on the inside lane with a power move through 3 and 4. And here comes a hungry pack behind them with the 2 Robert Yates Racing cars and Jeff Burton. But back to the line, Jeff Green will lead the Daytona 500 13 laps in. And now we're going to move on to the last lap of Stage 1 here, since this is using the modern 2023 NASCAR playoff system and points format, stages, and so on and so forth, to make it more interesting than the 2001 season ended up being in the end. So here we are, the final lap of Stage 1 on lap 60 here in the Daytona 500. Kurt Busch leads, but behind him, Michael Waltrip, Kenny Schrader, and Ward Burton are 3 wide, trying to get everything they can to get in position to try to steal the stage win from underneath the 97 of Kurt Busch's nose. Of course, the second full-time season out to last season. Kurt looking to really improve. He's showing some speed early, but here comes Michael Waltrip to the inside. Mikey with a big move to the inside with help from Schrader, but Ward Burton is going to be giving Kurt Busch a shove here out of 4. It's going to be a drag race back to the start-finish line through the tri-oval. Who is going to win Stage 1 here at Daytona? Kurt Busch or Michael Waltrip? As they race back to the line, Kurt Busch edges out Michael Waltrip to win Stage 1. Then it is Ward Burton, Schrader. Then you're going to have the 4 of Mike Skinner, Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace. And oh, trouble! Schrader spinning afterwards in the grass, in the infield here on the apron at Daytona after the end of the stage. What happened here? He just gets hooked by the 4 of Mike Skinner, just turns Schrader after the caution is flown for the end of Stage 1, and Schrader goes for a spin but continues on. Unhinged as Kurt Busch wins Stage 1 here at Daytona. And now we move on to the restart on lap 65. Rusty Wallace leads the field to green at the lap car of Jerry Nadeau right in front of him, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. another lap car to the inside of Nadeau as Rusty Wallace leads over Ward Burton, who seems to be one of the top cars today, as well as the 97 of Kurt Busch and the 28 of Ricky Rudd. And running out your top 5 is the 20 of Tony Stewart, who won some solid stage points at the end of Stage 1. So Rusty Wallace leading, but Ricky Rudd though got around the inside line. I believe he may have fallen 1 lap down here. Not yet, but he's back on the lead. So Ricky Rudd looks to charge his way into the race lead here, the Daytona 500. Down the backstretch here with help from Schrader and Kurt Busch behind him as, oh, they're crashing in the back. Around goes Dale Jarrett and Shauna Robinson. They're crashing and, oh, more contact. Bill Elliott Sadler pile in. Oh, and there's trouble up ahead. Smoke, more cars. Ryan Newman's around. Oh, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Ward Burton is involved. Jeff Burton also in it, as well as the 26 of Todd Bodine and the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield. Actually, all starts here with your leaders. Ricky Rudd and Rusty Wallace go crashing into the outside wall with help from Ward Burton. Ricky Rudd had made a move for the lead to the inside and got turned by Schrader right up into Rusty Wallace and down into Ward Burton, who gets clipped. Mike Skinner nowhere to go. Jeff Green gets a piece of it, and then down the track to go, nowhere to go for Jeff Burton or Jeff Gordon. They pile in, as well as Todd Bodine and the rookie of Jimmy Johnson, nowhere to go. Pile into the big one here, the big one V2 at the Daytona 500, involving many contenders, including Ricky Rudd and Rusty Wallace and Ward Burton, especially that 22 Ward Burton, one of the fastest cars all day. Your pole sitter gets clear. We watch this from Dale Jarrett's view. You see down the backstretch what happens here is he just gets clipped by Shawn Robinson in the outside wall. And somehow they spin down the track and nowhere to go. Piling is Elliott Sadler, Bill Elliott, and Robbie Gordon. A huge hit by Ryan Newman into Elliott Sadler afterwards. Absolutely ARCA breaks it and destroys the rookie of Newman's Day as well. And up here you have this whole incident that knocks out Johnson. And Jeff Burton and Ricky Rudd, get the view from Ricky Rudd's POV here down the backstretch. You're going to see Jarrett and Shawn Robinson start crashing behind him as they get hooked in the outside wall. This is when Rudd tries to make a move to the inside. He gets hooked by Rusty Wallace in front of Schrader. Nowhere to go. Up back in the wall. Collects Ward Burton and Mike Skinner. And then nowhere behind him to go for the rest of the pack back here, who piles in and gets collected as we get another big pile up here in Daytona. With your race leader being Kenny Schrader and Kurt Busch, your leaders. Now we move on here to stage 2, ending under caution. Dale Jarrett will win stage 2 over Michael Waltrip, Ward Burton, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Kurt Busch. Then you're going to have Rusty Wallace and the 2, Bill Elliott, and the 9, the 31 of Robbie Gordon, and the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, and the 14 of, the 18 Bobby Labonte right at your top 10. And now we move on to the restart here. On lap 177 or so, there's only 3 cars on the lead lap somehow after a long extended green flag run. That is now Michael Waltrip in the 15, Dale Jarrett in the 88, and Kurt Busch in the 97. Michael Waltrip Chevy versus the 2 Fords behind him, one from Robert Yates Racing, one from Roush Racing. The only 3 cars on the lead lap. Everyone else just unlucky, didn't quite have the speed or the strategy to have it work this race. They end up trapped a lap down, and basically for the Daytona 500, it's now down to Michael Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, and Kurt Busch for this win, as Michael Waltrip, a huge lead, trying to get redemption for last season in 2001 Daytona 500. He did not win it in NR 2003 like he did in real life. Can Mikey finally break the winless streak here in 2002, winning the Great American Race in Daytona 500? This would be almost just as big as the 2001 500 that he won in real life. As you see back here, 3-wide racing with Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Robbie Gordon. You got a whole pack back here racing pretty intensely, off the pace from your leader though. But at the front, Michael Waltrip leads the Daytona 500 with less than 30 laps to go. And I move on to 2 to go here in the Daytona 500. Michael Waltrip has pulled even further ahead of the 88 of Dale Jarrett now, but Jarrett trying to draft and have any chance of getting close to Michael Waltrip to steal this win. And Kurt Busch is almost a lap down. He's a ways out of it. So it's between Michael Waltrip and Dale Jarrett for your 2002 Daytona 500 win here through 3 and 4. Coming to take the white flag this time. Can Mikey hold on and break a huge winless streak? A 499 race winless streak will be broken. White flag, final laps on Kettle Bank for Michael Waltrip here in the Daytona 500 in 2002. Can he hold on to break a 499 race winless streak? This would be huge as he leads over Dale Jarrett, who's closing in now down the 1 and 2 town, coming down to the backstretch. Dale Jarrett has a huge run, closing in on Michael Waltrip. Can he make anything of it? No, he cannot, as his run stalls out down the backstretch because he has no help from behind. He cannot complete the move on Michael Waltrip, and all Michael Waltrip has to do is hold his line, and Mikey has got the Daytona 500 win as through 3 and 4 for the final time here at Daytona. Jarrett, one last charge through the corner, trying everything to get by Michael Waltrip. He's going to come up short in the 500 once again, as back to the start-finish line, Michael Waltrip wins the Daytona 500. He breaks a 499 race winless streak and punches his ticket in the Winston Cup Series playoffs. Your runner-up is the 88 Dale Jarrett. Kurt Busch in the 97 comes home in 3rd. And the rest of the pack here racing back to the line. The 2 of Rusty Wallace running in 4th position, as this is Kurt Busch coming home to finish in 3rd here in this pack of cars racing aggressively here mid-pack. So Kurt Busch will come home in 3rd. Rusty Wallace come home 4th, and Ward Burton 5th. Jeff Gordon in 6th. This 14 of Compton comes home 7th. 8th place going to be Sterling Marlin, Robbie Gordon 9th, and Kenny Schrader rounds out your top 10 in the 2002 Daytona 500. What a way to start out this season with Michael Waltrip winning the Great American Race. You see the long list of DNFs from the multiple huge wrecks that we went through today. We see the updated playoff standings shortly. Here we have a look at the playoff grid after only one race, so let's take this with a grain of salt. All we know for sure is Michael Waltrip is your Daytona 500 winner, and he is through to the playoffs unless you have more than 16 winners. Dale Jarrett, Kurt Busch, Ward Burton, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon, Ken Schrader, and Robbie Gordon, all double digits above the cut line, had very good runs here in the 500. Solid runs, a good way to start out their season. Stacey Compton, Sterling Marlin, Mike Skinner, Bill Elliott, Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Nadeau, Bobby Labonte, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. I mean, from 9th to 16th, that can obviously change after multiple races. Then Jeff Green, Tony Stewart, Casey Allen, Mark Martin, Ryan with the first couple guys out. It's not really going to matter. So until next episode, I hope you all have a good one.